Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Weichelt here with another episode of Weichelt Wednesday. Today, my good buddy Tyler, you're on the horn today. So great to see you again. What's up?
Robert, it's great to be back on. I'm excited. It's been a little while. But how is everything, brother? Everything going good in your world?
You know what? Things are great. Just celebrated Easter and have the family over, and watching those kids grow up and start their own families is truly a blessing. How about you?
That's amazing. Yeah, it's there's a lot I'm excited about, but yeah, it was Easter weekend. Had a great time with my loved ones, and yeah, everything is good, man. I feel very blessed.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, let's get right into it. Tell the audience, who's Tyler?
Who's Tyler? Well, I would say I'm an entrepreneur and just a leader in real estate. I mean, kind of crazy to say and think that, but it's funny. I actually someone was trying to figure out what was unique about me, and it's funny. I like to ask this question to a lot of people, but it's not one that I really think on a lot for myself. And so they kind of drilled me on it because it's someone I've given a hard time when I've asked that before, and so kind of got to switch roles, and he got to do that to me. But what we landed on, funny enough, it's something I never really thought about. It was the fact I've never had a job. So I've never worked for anyone. I've always, done my own thing, entrepreneurially, ever since I was a teenager onward. And, it's just something within me. I always knew that I wanted to do my own thing, that I wanted to be in control of my own destiny. And, really, while I was younger and for the longest time, even into my teenage years, I didn't really feel like I knew what avenue would unlock that, where I would really find my opportunity. But I landed in real estate while I was in the midst of finishing up college. So I feel like it was probably a good timing because I had no idea what I wanted to do after college. So yeah, it was actually right after I finished. That I kind of figured out real estate was, an area that really seemed interesting, and I dove more into it. And, fast forward, it's crazy to think it's been 7 going on 8 years now. But I really found my lane and calling in real estate, and not just in the sales side of the business. Like, I'd say most in our industry are pretty active in that element. But for me, I really found my lane and niche in terms of leadership and helping my fellow professional grow, develop. And so it's been a blessing to have, helped a lot of different people launch successful careers in this industry along the way, and help many more just kind of find more of their, potential, unlock more of, what they're capable of doing by being in this industry. So it's been a blessing, man.
You know what? I can tell you. Yeah. And now, how long have you been at the XP?
I've been with EXP over 6 years now. It was December 2016 that I landed here, which is kind of funny, man. The company's so much bigger today than it was back then. It was EXP who, and now everyone's heard about EXP. Maybe they know, maybe they don't know what we're all about, but they've heard the letters at least.
Yeah, we're certainly doing some transactions, that's for sure.
Yep.
We're helping a lot of folks. Now, you touch base on, not only are you doing transactions, but you're helping agents grow their business. You're collaborating, you're coaching, training, mentoring, firing agents up about their career. Expand a little bit on that.
Yeah. So, one of the things that, it was after I came on board at EXP that I realized this, but there really is an avenue in our industry for people who want to work more on the people development side of the business in terms of, particularly agents. And I think that's a natural thing in our industry. If we look around our industry, there's a lot of people that do that. Traditionally it's in the form of coaching, and there's, for probably all the time, there's been paid coaches in our industry. And trainers. If I think back to the company I started with, that was a very common thing, that you could pay for some higher level training. And so, there's a lot of different avenues that, there's people that provide a service to agents in our industry, and those agents could pay for these services, but it wasn't I got immersed into the world of EXP that, I realized there was an avenue for people to do that just, within the actual infrastructure of the company, to where, there's basically an ecosystem that encourages and supports those who want to help other people out within that ecosystem, but not necessarily have to monetize it in a traditional sense of like, hey, you pay me for this amount of time, or you pay me for this monthly service or whatnot. And so it was through the EXP ecosystem that I really started to figure out like, hey, I can help some other people out along the way here. Because for me, I would say the biggest reason why that's something I dove into is because I firsthand experienced just how big of a difference it can make if you really dive into real estate and start to get traction with the transactions and to build a business around that. Because for me, that was my avenue. Up to that point, I never really knew what I was going to do in life. I never really knew how I would unlock this vision of, really being in control of my own destiny that I always had. Because growing up, I heard the same thing. I think most of us here: go to school, get a job. And there just always seems to be a ceiling you see when you look at that. And I never wanted a ceiling, but I didn't really know how I would get there. But it was real estate where I really saw that door open. And for me, just being able to navigate it and go from, not really knowing anything about the business to getting to a point where I was more consistently closing deals. For me, it was completely life-changing. And it wasn't anything crazy, talking about first year in the business. I was figuring out most everything on my own. I didn't really have a formal guide, mentor, or anything. And so I was just kind of immersing myself, learning as much as I possibly could and applying it. And the first year was very hard, but I went from 3 deals my first year to I think it was 12 deals my second year. And, when you get to 12 deals, it's like that starts to be a pretty solid income level. And I think most markets, but it was for me. And that's where things really changed. It's like I finally felt like I could breathe and really had control of my own destiny. And going through that process, I realized just how significant of a thing that was for a lot of other people, especially for people that have been working a career and, have hit a ceiling. And, everyone's got a different story, but I started to see people that I was connecting with that really needed something like real estate in their life. And, if not for EXP, I don't really see an avenue that I could have really practically speaking helped those people. But, along the way, I've lost count. There's been countless people who have come from, a situation in life where, they didn't have any avenue like this to now they found it in real estate. And now, I'm in a position where I could actually help them navigate those next steps. And, we've done that. And it blows my mind. I feel like it hasn't been a long time, but, there's a lot of different people who will tell me that, like really just thank me and say, hey, if it wasn't for, meeting you or, I don't know what I would be doing in my life, or I'd still be at this job. And so I hear that more and more frequently now. And it's just, I feel extremely blessed to be able to help people like that to have a similar transformation in their lives as what I personally experienced through real estate.
You know what? It's I too love what we're doing over here. The collaboration. Look at this. We're collaborating. We're on different teams, but we're one team, one dream. And so it's just amazing. It gives me goosebumps, just all the different folks that we've got a chance to meet over the years, and just the collaboration that they're sharing everything. Here you go. Here's everything we're doing. You go do the same thing. Let me know if I can be of any assistance kind of attitude, which doesn't come normally in the real estate field. So what I want to ask you is, what do you want to say to the agent that is maybe thinking of jumping, over to EXP and changing their career and going to a much better, powerful engine? What do you want to say to that agent that has maybe not made that switch yet?
I would tell them really take a closer look at it, because there's, I could tell you one thing, two things. Reality is there are so many different pieces of our value proposition that appeal to different people at different points in the journey. And I would also say that you may or may not have kind of a challenge or obstacle ahead of you. Like, for instance, are you doing the kind of production you want to be doing, or do you have more in the tank? Do you feel like you're capable of more? Because, there's different avenues and ways we can help. But, maybe on the flip side, is there something that you're dealing with in your current situation that, if we could wave a magic, make it disappear, what would that thing be? Like, what kind of friction are you having, or what is it that's, kind of like a nail in your shoe, or whatever the case might be? Because depending on what it is, we may also have an avenue to go around that. I can't say it's one particular thing though, because it's, there's so many different situations and people out there. But biggest thing I could say is take a closer look at it, because I've never seen anything like it as far as truly having a platform as real estate agents where we have the freedom and autonomy to really build what we envision building by being in this industry, and to having as much in the way of really wind at our back to help us do it, from the support infrastructure, being able to get everything that we need and want in an instance, not having to wait if you really know how to navigate it, down to the broker support and every other layer of support, to the training and the knowledge and all the information being shared. I never imagined when I got into real estate that there would be an environment and opportunity to learn from the quality and caliber and quantity of people that you can within the world we've got of EXP. Because when I got started, I was excited to be able to learn from the best people in my local neighborhood. I'm like, wow, there's some great top producers here. Now we're not limited to our local neighborhood. We could be learning from the best across the map. And you know what? There's a lot of markets out there where there's little to no one applying some of these strategies in that local market. When you have that knowledge and information and you can go out and apply it, that could be a game changer. You could stand out in your own local market by applying strategies that someone in a completely different market area is doing to excel at a high level. And then, I'm not even scratching the surface of, what's beyond that as far as like company lead sources. Believe it or not, some agents probably be shocked to hear this, but there's a lot of things the company is willing to do here to help you actually put more business in your pipeline. And that's something I see very much over promised and under delivered across our industry. But I tell you here, it's very real as far as, we have a whole relocation department. There's agents closing deals very consistently where the company's literally passing off this business directly for them to handle. And that's not to mention, just the power of having a collaborative network of agents all across the map, helping each other secure business. Because, hey, a lot of us have clients relocating. Well, there's an agent in another market who could help take care of that. And for some of you, that might be you who can help take care of that if you're connecting with these agents. And I could go on and on. We're not even scratching the surface on the compensation structure. If you're someone who is a high producing agent, or you aspire to become a high producing agent, I have not seen another business model out there that can hold a candle to what the compensation would actually look like if you're running volume, if you're, selling a lot of real estate, doing a lot of production. I haven't seen another business model where the numbers are better if you plug those numbers into EXP versus any other company out there. And I've looked at a lot of scenarios. And so that's the biggest thing I'd put to your audience. If they are someone in production and doing it at a high level, or they have a goal to get to that level, run those numbers through EXP and compare it to your current situation and what you could do there. Because I haven't seen another company where you would actually take home more money if you're doing volume. And just to be clear, if you're not a high producer or don't want to become one, this may or may not be the place for you. It's hard to say at that point because, hey, if you're just trying to clear $50K a year selling real estate, there's probably some companies out there where you would keep more money. But this is a place where it really does have a different kind of appeal to those who want to become highly productive and really want to make a bigger impact by being in real estate.
What I've seen a lot of, at these different events, whether it be Cabo, Dallas, all the different places we go, and I run across some serious producing agents. And the best part, Tyler, is they're all so willing to share. And that is what, all tides raise all boats. So it's an amazing thing to watch. So I appreciate your sharing this with us today. And I mean, we could go on and on. I was on a call just not too long ago with Gene Frederick, and I said, Gene, question for you. What are your top 3 things about EXP? He goes, Robert, I got 100 of them. I can't just stop at 3. But I tell you what, it's an amazing thing. So Tyler, I appreciate your time. And there's anything I can ever do for you, I'm here to help. So I appreciate your time today. Any closing remarks you'd like to say to the audience?
Yeah, I love Gene, man. Just a visionary right there. Whatever episode, if he was on here, I'm going to tell your audience, they definitely got to watch that.
Yeah.
They're very blessed to have leadership like that. And I mean, what I'd leave your audience is something that's so important is your environment. Like, are you, surrounded with the right people? Are you in the right environment to really grow and become who it is you're capable of becoming by being in real estate? And not just for your business, but in life, because if you're making the kind of things happen that you're able to professionally, that's going to flow into other areas of your life. What kind of impact are you here to make, within your household, but even beyond? And so put yourself in the best possible position to succeed. Surround yourself with people who are going to fuel your growth, whatever environment that is. But that's so important. I think it's something where there's a lot of people in our industry who just kind of doing their own thing. They're kind of, on their own, kind of making it all happen. And you can make a lot happen that way. But what if we could say I like this analogy right here. I'll share it. So say you're like we all got our flame. So you think of your flame, you got a flame burning bright, say you're doing solid, selling real estate. You got a bright flame and that's burning bright. And there's probably people out there that see it, that do business with you, and you can make a lot happen with that flame and probably provide a good income in life for you and your family. But imagine if there were a situation where you had other people with a flame like that. Maybe some of them were burning a little brighter, maybe some of them kind of burning the same, but regardless, what if you could take your flame and put it together with the other ones? And what if we could make one big fire and burn brighter together and accomplish so much more? That's what I leave your audience with, is that's what's really special about EXP, is because this is a place where we're building one big fire together. The idea and, what we're seeing here is that you can accomplish so much more being in the right environment, surrounded with the right people, in the right vehicle, to where we can all level up and achieve more, by helping each other get there instead of just competing with each other all day. Let's collaborate and help each other grow. And that's exactly what we do here. I see it all the time, and it blows my mind. I'm sure you see this too, Robert. It blows my mind to see all the teams joining EXP. And these are big teams. Literally in the past week and a half, I've seen team after team after team after team announce that they're joining. I'm not talking about like 2 people teams. I'm talking about 50 people teams. I'm talking about there was 100 plus agent team that joined us this past week. I saw they do 2,500 deals a year, 400 plus million in volume. It's like, you don't hear these things, but you hear it very consistently with EXP, that there's organizations and groups like that coming on board. Well, what's it mean for us? It means, hey, this is another person that's going to be a part of that one big fire that we're building together. That's someone else who's going to be adding and contributing to the culture, the knowledge base. And any one of you out there who understands that can plug into that to help you level up your business. And you could be a part of that too and contribute something to the mix. But, collectively, we're going to build something much bigger together. And I think the proof's already there. We became number 1 this past year in production in the United States. So for the longest time, it was a vision we had, but, that vision became the reality because we became the most productive company in the United States in record time, not even 14 years old. But what I believe is that where we are today is nowhere close to where it is we're going in our industry. And it's something unprecedented. It's something very special. If that's the kind of culture that if it's in alignment with who you are, I hope you will become a part of it before too long, so that you can really be a part of the growth that's ahead of us, that not what's behind us, because what's ahead of us, I believe, is a lot bigger than what we've seen so far.
Wow. You dropped some knowledge. I forgot I was even interviewing you. I was just sitting there listening. You have so many nuggets to share. So I'll tell you, man, it has been a pleasure getting caught up, speaking with you, and just appreciate everything you're about. Tyler Roicki, you're the man. I appreciate you being my guest today. This is Robert Weichelt for another episode of Weichelt Wednesday. Tyler, thank you, brother.